Coming to the today's discussion. So if you observe the pre-processing kind of the aspects, today I'll complete some of the aspects related to the pre-processing. So as a part of this particular pre-processing, so we have done with missing value imputation. And second important thing, friends, what is that? Encoding. Okay, so far we have seen one hot encoding.
Label encoding and
label will see. Yeah, label will see in the today's session. Like we'll try to complete label encoding, which is very simple, and thereafter, most importantly, we'll try to work with the train test split, because we were talking about that one, how to split the data into training, testing, X train, X test, and Y train and Y test. Most important part, because in any of the supervised learning algorithms, first we have to perform this kind of train test split. And third important thing, friends, which is a standard scalar. So this particular standard scalar, so I'm going to introduce you the aspect of scaling mechanism. Okay, so to perform the scaling, actually we are having two aspects now. One is the standardization, second is the
normalization.
Normalization. Very good. Now you observe here, friends, if I'm talking about the standardization and normalization, I'll give you a conclusion, like when do we use standardization and normalization. That time we have seen min-max kind of thing. And just in case of standardization, we have followed that, okay, whatever the aspects we're having, so we need to get those kind of the aspects into one common scale. Because if I'm talking about the standardization, we'll take the mean of that value divided by some standard deviation, like some kind of the formalities and formulations were there. Okay, so just if you are referencing the first aspect to discuss, which is the label encoding. Okay, so by the way, what do you mean by this label encoding, friends? When do we use this?
For the output, yes or no?
Yeah, yes or no kind of thing. Maybe see, because a label is a common word for the Y or some kind of the dependent variables. Sometimes, there is a possibility of true or false, yes or no, success or failure. In all these kind of the cases, you can elect the label encoding. Okay, not only for the Y value, and for, sometimes, in our data set, there is a possibility of observing these kind of things also. Okay, let me explore these kind of the aspects, so which you can complete the usage of this label encoding, and as well as thereafter we'll have a discussion of this train test split, and finally the standard scalar. Okay, so that we can have the first step of this data pre-processing right now. Hope this Jupyter notebook is visible to you guys, so that if you observe, just as a revision, already we have seen this multiple times. We are taking the purchases data, and this particular purchases data is containing the information of country, age, salary, and as well as the purchased. So this is giving a context, just it is not giving the complete data. So as for the pre-processing, we have taken this particular simple example. Rather than focusing on the data, our focus is on the process actually. So what we have done, friends, in this process, we have picked up the independent features and as well as the dependent data. So this is one way of picking up the corresponding columns. Whereas in simple linear regression and multiple linear regression, we are going to talk about one more methodology, so as to pick up the required information into the dependent and as well as the independent variables that we'll see. Now, can someone help me to understand what exactly we have seen in case of this thing, friends? Simple imputer. Who are all there in the call? Lakshmi, can you? Friends, today I need to tell this point. We are taking some interviews, friends. Actually, we are busy with the conducting the interviews and all. That guy who has come to interview is maybe I don't know whether he has worked or not. He picked up that particular thing. Is a Tech Mahindra. Okay, his recent company he's currently working with Tech Mahindra. And generally what we'll do is just we are making the Zoom kind of the things, and so our request is, our interest is to recruit a member who is having the SQL profiling background and PySpark orientation, and thereafter if required, so Scala may be optional, and mandatorily Hive also we are looking, and one more thing is Python, maybe a little bit Python understanding. So so far we have done some 10 interviews from past 3 or 4 days. Now a strange thing, friends, he's not ready to switch on the video basically, and he's not ready to share his screen to explain something. Okay, so I felt very strange. Then one of my panelists, he's saying that nowadays the people are see a very strange thing. I heard that. So they present in front of us, just they just as a panelist you can observe some person XYZ, and but some ABC member would be there opposite to that machine. Okay, so he used to give the answers, and he is going to give the answers to the panelist. Okay, I surprised friends. Actually, see how come it is possible. See, just even in dubbing movies also, if sync is not there, we may not enjoy the actual emotion. But now see, the companies are already suffering with fake degrees, and as well as fake companies, and interviews also they are doing in the fake manner. The problem here is because we are in a hurry to recruit. But see, the 25 members we have shortlisted. Actually, we require some 50 members on these lines, actually, SQL, PySpark, and all these lines. And so far, I am involved in interviewing 10 members. Of course, fairly, some 6 members done well. Remaining 4 members, friends, I want to highlight this point. Maybe they are behaving suspicious, friends. You can easily tell the person, maybe he's not having the confident on the communication, because we already have mentioned this point. So communication wise, if you could able to convey your methodology or coding aspects related to the team member, up to that it's okay. We are not expecting you to perform like Shakespeare or something like that. Okay, that is the first point. Second important thing is while giving the answers also, irrelevancy, like he's suspicious or irrelevant, and pulling some kind of the scenario. And if I am asking something, maybe partitions or something, he is telling something. So these things, friend, don't put this suspicious kind of the aspects. Maybe if you are genuine also, you can take some time, and you can talk one or two statements perfectly all right. But don't unnecessarily pull all the concepts into the question. It's not required at all. Maybe your knowledge is excellent, and you are proven in your company, and within the current role you are really doing well. But don't say much things, or I can say, like, if you are answering and if you are giving more knowledge or more whatever I am asking, just to if you are giving that thing, it is better for panel, and we can easily expect the candidature, because in that particular panel we're having some interface. This interface clearly mentioned that corresponding skill, and as well as the coding kind of aspect, and secondary skills. Okay, and his communication, or some kind of the soft skills, whether he is properly listening, or whether he could able to observe or address the corresponding scenario, and all these kind of things. So beyond these particular thing, we cannot give even a single mark, friends. And here they mention some kind of the 50%, coding some 10%, and secondary skills. So again 20%. Okay, 80, and remaining soft skills 20%. So based on there are some specific tabs, and based on that, poor, average, okay, good, fair, like that would be there. So my straight information and suggestion to you is, don't give much information beyond the ask. So just you stick to your whatever the scenario they have asked, and you stick on to that particular thing. And whenever they need extra attention or extra information, so definitely you can. But there is a simple thing, for the shortlisted candidates I have to play up to 30 minutes minimum. And if I'm rejecting, means even within 10 minutes also I can reject that guy. And some members, strange, after 2 or 3 minutes, immediately they are logging off, and they are never turning, friends. Okay, because we are making that stringent norms, like sharing of the screen, and video should be on. And we are, in fact, maybe whether in your company, Suresh, or these guys are following, even we are recording also, Suresh, nowadays. By chance you are doing this in the recruitment, or what is the status?
No, recording is already the old one. Nowadays,
uh,
what they're doing is
uh,
the video is one person, the connection to the phone will be the other person.
Nonsense fellows.
So what happens is, like you said in the first one, he'll be syncing, but the person who will be a very experienced guy will be answering your calls.
All are trained by Suresh, I think.
Oh my God, Suresh. You are having good image here in our team. Of course, we are
So
also
that's why he's
team.
telling everything. He's revealing everything, right? So that's why I thought he's doing it.
No. I have done interviews and I have caught people. Because
No,
I put some questions, tricky questions in such a way,
uh,
like, in debugging and the stuff.
okay.
And
So
the other guy
definitely,
was stuck, and when he was answering, this guy lip movement was different.
exactly. We have to see those complex scenarios, Suresh. If you are asking, see the standard and stack kind of the questions, stock questions and all, it is easily to grasp. But if you are giving some scenario, especially if you are asking that guy to create some RDD or some kind of the data frame, okay, then definitely you can catch hold of that thing. And from the higher,
One more thing, Uma,
uh,
the most horrible thing,
uh,
what is happening now is,
uh,
the consultants who are in between, those guys want
pushing.
to pay the persons who are very good. Like
Yeah. Okay.
as I'm supporting somebody,
Okay.
so they'll call me and they'll see my experience and all the
1 minute.
stuff in the data science, and they'll say that ask me to attend the interview, and they'll be paying me the amount, whatever it is.
So consultancies itself. Okay, means
Because these mischief things are being done by consultancies, because once the thing is, once the guy is inside, he can do whatever he can develop. So because everything is on Google, you type it, you get it, the code ready, and put it. It hardly takes 10 to 15 minutes for
yeah. Nowadays clearing the interview is a big deal, and getting the offer is also. And it seems, Suresh, nowadays the companies are also, even we, 2 months and 2.5 months to release the offer. Lot of background checks or approvals. See, we are not seeing the person, and we are not thoroughly observing those guys, and everything is online only, starting from the coding and interviewing the members, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 rounds, and it is getting delayed actually. But one more thing is, out of all these kind of things we can manage, but this is, I never heard these kind of things, Suresh. I'm really surprised, how come it possible? Because simply the person is managing something, and one person is attending in front of us, and even after after observing through video also, is it possible really?
See, I'll tell you something,
uh,
Uma.
uh,
A person who is an enthusiastic, he
uh,
will definitely forget what he is doing. Like suppose if you take me, when you're asking some question, I'll be more interested in answering how to answer and what to answer.
That's all.
And to put all my things. In that scenario, I'll never know what are my facial expressions, how my lips are moving. I don't bother. But these guys, they're trained. Okay. So they never move their lip much. Okay. It will be somewhat like a ventriculation, this thing.
Ventriloquism. Yeah.
Yeah. Like a little bit of a movement of the lip. And the other guy will be, in the bass voice, he'll be talking, the other guy he'll start and he'll answering the questions, whatever you're asking.
Yeah. See, already industry is suffering with these fake qualifications and all these things. Again, these things are also coming into the picture.
So that is the reason why, if the interviewer is a very good person, what he'll do is he'll fit him in such a way that both will be in a confusion state.
This is what. See, one thing, 90% of the effort we have to put for identifying the fake, not for the subject or something, so how he is behaving and suspiciously, and what is the that is becoming a primary skill now, Suresh, for the interviewers. I am telling. See, at least at this moment. Oh, I'm sorry.
What happens is, like, suppose for a 10 years plus, you'll never ask him to write a code.
Yeah, of course, we will do. Yeah, exactly.
Even Uma, even in many of my interviews in SQL, PL SQL,
exactly.
I have told many people, what do you think? I'm not a kid. Right, 4 years, 5 years to write a code for you and show
exactly,
you.
Exactly. One thing that what we're asking for those guys is best practices in Spark.
Yes, exactly.
And what
the
is
process oriented, how it goes.
Optimizations you followed in our project. But those things also they could not able to tell. Fairly, the person is okay, 50 to 60%, we are recruiting. Still, that is the problem, friend. People are not there. That's what I'm saying. Don't worry, because you are far better than these nonsense fellows. That's what I'm telling. Yogesh, Lakshmi, Venkat, and you are very curious and you are simply giving the answers, and we are not yet done with the complete course. Okay, so but still, that's what I'm saying. I'm wondering actually. So just by seeing you and by seeing those guys who are attending the interviews, and unfortunately, I'm taking. I'm making them to recruit and all. So some kind of the difficulty I'm facing, so to get the real members and subject wise. Okay, that is what, friends. So just to be brave and don't behave suspiciously. Nowadays these things are playing a vital role, so be confident enough, nothing else. Okay, so just to based on your experience and knowledge, definitely. And much coding, as our friend told, like fairly, if you are able to write some kind of the list or data frame kind of thing, if you are able to perform some kind of train test split kind of aspects or measures, definitely, so after completion of 2 or 3 algorithm explanations, definitely you are in a position to explain the next algorithm to me. Okay, no doubt about that. But so after inquiring or after observing or after examining these guys, even they don't know to write a simple data frame from the list or from the whatever the means. Okay, so that is what unfortunate thing. And recruitments are happening, and bulk requirement is there, friends, especially in the landscape of this big data, machine learning, data science. Okay,
that is the reason. More and more these things are happening, because there are so many jobs. And nowadays what has happened is, because of COVID, US is in deficiency of 3 million jobs.
Deficiency. And one more thing, Suresh, now the people are taking revenge on the companies, it seems. They're
mass
layoffs.
Till now, what has happened, Uma, till now companies were demanding employees. Correct. Now employees are demanding companies.
It's a good sign, Suresh, anyhow. Both for companies and employees, I have to say. See, reason behind this is recruitment is happening. And see, if you are resigning at Infosys, you have to join somewhere, na? Actions or TCS.
Yeah.
We are not going to start any new company now, because That is what I'm saying. Okay. However, the attrition ratio would be there, but only the point is the people are giving importance to the humanity, and based on their behavior of these layoffs and all, they are taking the decisions. Okay. So that is
Yes,
what
yes.
definitely bulk recruitments are there. Definitely in the 2 or 3 interviews you are going to through, friends. No doubt about it.
Did you ever see any time
Ah.
a company where you're working for 5, 6 years or 7 years, you increase of double is hilarious, you know?
Oh, is
If
it?
you say that I'm going to resign,
Then they
he
will.
will immediately pay you
And
what
one case I observed, Suresh, exactly. You're right. See, we are in need of the Scala resource actually. Okay, for the healthcare domain. Okay, so those guys are having 11 lakh package now. Currently, he is some XYZ, and he has put the papers and he has shown us the offer also. You know what? Simply 20 lakh, the management
Yeah,
rate.
that's what. Yeah.
Yeah, see, even if he's they retained. Otherwise, the other person ABC, he is also in 11 lakh, but maybe he's getting 13 or something. Now he is also looking for the other company. See, this
Yes.
imbalance should not be there, Suresh. That is another problem actually. Retention
Yes, exactly.
policies must be, and that trend.
Everywhere people are taking advantage, everywhere. They're
Ah,
taking things as granted and they're taking advantage.
exactly. You're
And
right.
in between, the persons who are really talented are getting crushed actually. And this is happening in every industry.
Crushed means one thing. We have to take the chance, Suresh, because see the
Yes.
loyalty and all these kind of things are definitely valid. But you will be end up with your career with these kind of scenarios. Rather,
Yes. Yes.
these two both resource are on an average both are same. But he has given the kind of offer, and we cannot lose him also. Okay, so
Yeah.
that is what the problem. Okay, but of course HRs and companies are also having the look on it. Maybe some they may be coming up with some equilibrium or something like that. Okay, but definitely one thing, friends, after 1 year or 2 years, if you are going to other company, definitely you are going to get 30% hike, at least in our data science or
Yeah,
machine
definitely.
learning or
Data science will get more.
a big data kind of thing. So these kind of aspects. So people are looking, friends, and one more revenue. Let me say this point. Not only in the development, friends, actually, if any person, just I'm giving you this insight, he want to become a subject matter expert, or else he want to participate in the content development. Okay, and if you want to give some kind of directions, okay, or else some kind of the learning paths. Now these guys also not available, friends, at the range of maybe, if you are having your development knowledge, or you are having knowledge in data science or machine learning kind of the algorithms, the, these guys are also lagging actually. Developers, however, we are getting from 4 to 5 years, 6 to 7, up to 10 years. Okay, definitely, whatever the resumes I have received, they are in the range of these things. But whereas these SME and content development and these things, we definitely look for greater than 10 years. And unfortunately, we are lagging, friends, actually, because reasons are quite interesting. We are looking for PhDs in stat or computer science, maybe at least MSc or MTech, or something like, okay, which is in computer science or stat kind of the thing. You should have some kind of the mathematical background, and he should have worked somewhere as a content developer or SME kind of thing. See this is only the requirement. No need of proven track record of any projects and all, nothing. Okay, so the landscape I am telling, okay, you need not worry about the exact I mean experience of the data science or machine learning engineering kind of thing. But one thing, friends, before up to 4 years or 2 years, definitely the interview is revolving around your Python basics. Okay, I'll give you the list, friends, because as the trend, we are also getting Python orientation and some of the aspects, like, in the pre-processing, some standard kind of thing. Because everywhere, no matter whether Emphasis or Mindtree or Infosys, the trend is common. But greater than 10 years people, as our friend told, we are not interested to check the coding skills of those guys. we want them to engage in optimization techniques and give some kind of insights how we are making use of parameter tuning and all, and for those kind of the discussions and brain stormings, these things, because at least 2 or 3 guys must be there so as to monitor the flow as a senior members. Okay, so those things are happening. Okay, right, friend. Now that is what I want to share with you. So you if you are having subject, definitely you can beat the requirement and you can jump into the appropriate thing, friends. No doubt about that. Right. So now just we are coming back to this discussion as I we stopped here, like import imputer. So what do you mean by this imputer? Actually the concept is missing value imputation. Okay, so just what we're trying is here we are identifying that particular NAN kind of thing and we're applying the strategy called mean, so that obviously we'll be getting the outcome as, so whatever the values I'm having, those kind of the values would be replaced with the kind of the mean. So this thing we have seen. Now in the earlier session, just we have observed some kind of column transformer. Okay, so this particular thing, one hot encoder, what it does, friends, one hot encoder, can someone help me? What is the main purpose of this one hot encoder?
It
Just
changes the text to the numbers.
Number text to the numbers in such a way that it is not going to give any 1 2 3 kind of numbers. What is the problem if you are giving, if you are allowing your imputer, I mean your transformer to convert into numbers? We have already discussed it now. If I am replacing
priorities.
Okay, your model is in the impression of priorities. Okay, in the under the impression of the priority, maybe for the higher numbers it may give the kind of importance. Okay, so as to avoid that particular thing, we are having the one hot encoder. So what it does, friends? One hot encoder, because 3 things: what exactly it is, why we are using, and how we are applying. So in every concept learning, just you put up these 3 questions. What exactly the topic is? One hot encoder. What do you mean by that? One hot encoder is a converter mechanism. Why we need to use? Why means as categorical data is there, I want to convert the data into the numbers, so that we are using the one hot encoding or any kind of the encoding. How we are applying? How means our sklearn providing the column transformer in the compose, and in the pre-processing we are having the one hot encoder. So what we are doing, just we are applying the column transformer as a part of the encoding technique and one hot encoder, and just we need to specify the index value. So I want to apply on the first index of this particular thing, so that we can get the conversion process. And what do you mean by this thing, friends? What exactly this parameter is helping us? How
it will avoid the other columns.
It avoids all the other kind of the columns, because we are happy with that conversion, and we don't want to drag the other age or salary or whatever the
We only want to deal with 0 index,
that's
not
it.
with 1 2.
0th index we are interested, so that we are making use of that particular as the one hot encoder. So now what do you mean by fit and transform, by the way? Because in the earlier example, in the process of the missing value imputation, there is a separation of fitting and as well as the transformation. But now we use this particular fit and transform. What is the reason behind that, friends? Okay, this is also one of the important question in the interviews, because if you put 5 or 6 kind of experience, definitely you may, they ask you, like in case of the missing value imputing, there is a separate fit method and separate transform method. Whereas in case of this thing, so in case of our simple imputer of the encoding, we are directly observing fit and transform. Hope Yogesh, Lakshmi can give a try. Why I'm saying those names is they are see, Venkat and Suresh are saturated with the topics, because they think many aspects to answer the question. But you people, just you are to the just you can easily grasp that what could be the reason. That is what a very simple answer. Even it's not definitely out of syllabus kind of thing. Just this is the point, and separately we need to mention the transformation here. Whereas if I am talking about this kind of the notation, there is a fit and transformation method directly. What could be the reason? In case of the missing value, we are making use of fit and transform separately. And in case of the encoding, we are making use of fit and transform directly. What could be the reason? And maybe who are all in the call, Akash may be new, but you can also give a try, Akash. Okay, how you are enjoying the sessions, Akash, by the way? I thought of interacting with yeah. Akash, it is like a journey, you know. Hope you got the point by this time. Okay, so just we'll be
Yes,
dealing
sir.
with many things, and Suresh had something, and our friends and all, you know. So just is a kind of joyful learning, Akash. Don't maybe after going through the recordings and all, at any moment if you are getting doubt, definitely you ask me and we can clarify, right? No problem. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Nilima,
Okay.
Suresh, Venkat. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Now, what is the reason behind this, friends? Maybe this question is open to now Suresh and Venkat also. Maybe they can also with their.
One hot encoder is changing into numbers. So, and we are making it an array. So, at a time, one stretch, we do fit and we do transform. Transform in the sense we are replacing it directly with the numbers.
So you mean to say that one hot encoding must be performed on a single go. That is your analogy.
No, because we are dealing with the numbers, the fit and you're doing it one single function itself.
Yeah, that's what.
No.
Okay.
As the categorical data, we need to know what all data to, I mean.
Oh,
We
it
need
is
to
like
go-
Lakshmi, it is like Danavera
Old
Sorakarna
movie.
dialogue. Danavera
Old
Sorakarna is
movie.
there, na? That our great NTR, you know, he generally re-recording special effect. Oh, you are in dubbing theater, Lakshmi, or what? Nilima or Lakshmi? Who is that? Lakshmi. Oh, really is a good relief here. This class, you know, I really love to teach this class. Along with the subject, we're having entertainment also.
A sudden effect has created havoc in the people.
I thought
No. I badly need that. I badly need that effect. While conducting interviews, you know, Lakshmi, you give the formula for me. No, don't do Suresh or Venkat. So that I can have that special effects. What is the problem? You maybe she has logged in two maybe one machine or something like.
No.
Oh, again. No, again special effect. Okay, no problem. Yeah. So or else you can use the chat window, Lakshmi. So rather than using that thing, okay, you can use the chat window so that we can yeah, Venkat, you are trying to say something. What is that? Yeah, Suresh is near to the
speaker. If speaker is on, sometimes the same voice we get like resound.
You are giving the problem or you are giving the answer?
I'm not giving the problem. I do not know the answer.
Okay.
Venkat is going into a
Depth coverage. Okay. So Suresh is revolving around the answer. Okay. Now, simple point, friends, here. See, as he mentioned, he is very nearer to that. It's a single step process actually.
And one more thing. The parameters what you are giving to the functions are same in both fit and transform.
Yeah, exactly. There is no differentiation. No? That means
no difference. See, on the top when you go, when you see on the fit, you are giving 1 and 3, colon 1 and 3, and the transform also is giving the same.
Exactly. It is affecting the original data.
Yes.
Yeah, generally. And moreover, friends, one thing you need to observe is definitely a computing is required now here. computing is required, and that too, if you observe, this computing is not true for all. There is a condition based actually. There is a condition. Okay, there is a condition. That is what strategy equal to mean. So whenever we are using the condition, first we need to fit that particular thing, and then only we are going to perform the transformation. Here, any condition is there, friends? Condition means only these rows. I'm talking about the rows actually, not the columns, because if you see, there is a specification. I need to get the not a number kind of thing, and after getting this particular not a number, then only I'm suggesting my simple imputer to update the same with the mean. But here the case is different. Okay, so just after checking the appropriate rows, there is no condition at all. Only the thing is I want to apply the one hot encoder on top of this first column. Okay, this is not a condition. This is skipping actually. Pass through in the sense whether I need to apply the one hot encoder or not. So if you refer, missing value imputation is based on the condition, because even we are also not sure that where is that NAN and how many. Of course we can get how many NANs, and that is fine, but whenever there is a appearance of that NAN, definitely I have to update with the mean. That is the first point, so that we are taking this fit, and then we are going to apply the mechanism. Whereas in this particular case, there is a process one hot encoder. You need not give any kind of the conditions or directions. Only you need to give the column which we want to go, which we need to apply the corresponding encoding technique. Okay, so just we are fitting and as well as the transformation. So if you refer the why we have converted this into the array, friends? See here in this case we have not mentioned anything here. Okay, why we need to? Because these are all the points we need to observe. Okay, in the coding kind of thing or in the interviews. So generally they focus on these aspects only. Okay, maybe we overlook sometimes, why simply missing value imputation is not having any conversion, but our fit and transform is having some kind of the conversion. Reason is simple. Can someone give it a try? Why we are making use of the convention, friends? So if you are referencing this fit transform is not giving the array kind of the output, but our x value is the array kind of the output. If you are referencing this x value and as well as the y value, by default they are arrays. So our numpy is also completely dependent on this particular array kind of the notation. That is the reason why we are converting this fit and transformation to the array format, and then we are applying the corresponding logic. So obviously,
so what is exactly the fit and transform in which this thing it will give the answer? If suppose if I don't mention the array, what is
error we are going to get? Yeah. Let me do this.
Okay.
No problem.
That is more important actually.
Yeah.
What exactly that function gives?
Not giving any answer, but see, rather than giving the array, it is giving. Now, if I'm using this kind of the notation in train test split, definitely it is objecting us in the shape, because array, how many dimensions we're having in this array, friends?
2 dimensions.
2 or 3? 3 rows, no? Three columns rows. Actually 3 columns.
3 columns.
And we don't know n by 3. This is n by 3, I can say. But the problem here is, friends, if you are not converting into this particular array, the problem is we'll be caught in this applicability of the algorithms in the training and test split. One of the important aspect is if I want to apply some kind of the mechanism, my whatever the x train and as well as the x test, y train and y test must be in the same dimensions. Okay, that is the reason why we are making use of this particular array. You may not get the error at this moment, but certainly while implementing the algorithmic aspects, it is expecting the arrays, because we are always dependent on. There is one criteria, initially numpy. On top of that, they designed the pandas. On top of that pandas, we are having the matplotlib and cburn. And again, if you observe the sklearn kind of thing, that is also built on top of the NumPy. So that is always preferable. Okay, so as to avoid the size kind of thing. And probably let me show you that example here. Yeah, this shape, friends, actually, so generally if I am working with the single dimensional array, in the next session I'm going to introduce this simple regression. We are having some TV marketing, sales and all there. I'm having this particular information up to this. Okay, now this shape of this particular thing is number of rows and as well as the columns. Actually I'm having two columns, and what we're doing is after getting this particular thing, we are splitting that X value and as well as the Y value. Now at the moment I am splitting this thing, and we are getting these kind of the notations actually, like X trained shape is 140 nothing and 140. It is not showing any column, so that we need to add some extra column if you are not returning the array. Okay, that too, this problem persists only if you are having one column, friends. Remember that. Okay, so these are all the dependencies. So why I'm saying this particular thing is, if I am explaining that particular thing now, also you may not get the point. So, but keep in mind that whatever the process we are having in the conversion, if it may not give the error at this moment, but certainly in the implementation of the algorithms, as our sklearn is built on top of our NumPy package, obviously it is very close to the arrays. So it is always better to have the conversion process into the array notation. Okay, just to observe that, and whenever there is a chance of explaining this particular point again, definitely we'll have a discussion. Okay, right, now it becomes a kind of the array because we have converted this into the array notation. Now one of the important thing, friends, what do you mean by label encoder, by the way? Label encoder, long back we have seen in the process of the encoding technique.
We have we do for the output like yes or no, true or false.
Yes or no, true or false. If that particular thing is only having two options, then I'm happy to apply the label encoder. Okay, now you observe here, friends. Just you see and comment on this one hot encoding kind of the aspect. Okay, and as well as the label encoder kind of the aspect. Just to have a look, or else let me get these things into our OneNote, so that you can have a fair comparison. Just this point is also valid while explaining the differentiation. This is one thing we are having, and thereafter, and the implementation part also I am getting, friends, so that you can have a look of whatever the aspects we are having in our label encoding. This is one thing. Okay, this is related to the one hot encoding. Coming to the label encoding. Okay, so just have a look on this. I'm getting these lines of code. You can easily observe how simple our label encoding when compared with the one hot encoding. This is one thing, and as well as label encoder. In coding, nothing is there, friends. Okay, but only the thing is your interpretation is important, and observation, comparison, those things are important. Okay, right. Now you see, friends, how do you refer these two aspects?
The label encoding is direct. It works only on the final output. So we need not give any condition for the label encoding.
Okay.
We need not put any column or all like one in one hot encoder. We have mentioned that you have to work on column 0 and reminder pass through. Here it's only S and S or no or something, like only two values, and we are going to work only on one column. So we can directly use the label encoder.
Very good. And
is this on the dependent variable only?
Yeah, of course, we are doing on Y now here. If you see,
it's on Y. So you'll be working only on dependent variable.
May not be Suresh. That's what I see. Suppose X1, X2, X3, X4. Now there is a column, the third column, like whether the person is having PG or UG qualification. Can I consider this as a categorical or what? If he is having PG, then I am putting 1. If he is having UG, I am putting 0. Then whether this is categorical or not?
Yeah, the categories, post-graduation and
UG, undergraduation, okay, categorical. So at the moment I am giving 10101. That means instead of PG, I want to put 1. Instead of UG, I want to generate 0, like that. Okay, then which kind of encoding I need to apply? Whether I should apply the one hat encoding or label encoding. In this case, especially X3.
Label encoding.
Label encoding only. Though X3, whether X3 is a label or what? Definitely it's not a label. No? It's a feature actually. It's a feature, or independent variable. But that is what, see, don't stick to the name here. Label encoder may not be applicable always on the labels. Only the option here is maybe yes or no, 1 or 0, success or failure. If you are observing these kind of the notations, then always your label encoder is preferable, no matter whether in Y terms or in X terms we are going to apply, that never minds. Okay, so at times sometimes you may use this label encoder on top of our independent variables also. Okay, that we'll see in some of the examples. Okay, but however the procedure is same. Now if you observe, what is the commonality between these two friends? Can someone help me to understand what is the commonality? Maybe the import, or maybe some kind of the procedure. What is the common aspect in these two? In
this is also doing fit and transform and function
directly, because even this is easy to perform this label encoder. In case of one hat encoder only, it is performing fit and transform. Straight away label encoder can do that. This is one comparison one. Any other? In case of the import process, both we have imported from the pre-processing only. If you observe, one hot encoder is available in the pre-processing kind of the mode, and even our label encoder also we imported from the pre-processing. Okay, from sklearn, actually this particular sklearn is having the pre-processing kind of the aspect, so just I am having the sklearn. From that sklearn we are importing the pre-processing, and within that pre-processing we are having, okay, one hot encoder, and as well as we are having the label encoder also. We're having the label encoder also. So the commonality, okay, the same import works with both one hot encoding and as well as the label encoding. Now the procedure is simple, friends. Why we need to create the reference for the label encoder as that of one hot encoder? Here for the one hot encoder also we have created some column transformer, whereas for the label encoder, so just label encoder, okay, transforming the label, just like that we have created one reference. And what we are doing directly, what is the meaning of the statement, friends? PL dot label encoder of Y. What is the meaning of the statement?
The result what you are getting from the label encoder function, we are directly putting into the Y, whether it is a
we are overriding we are overriding actually.
We are overriding it.
Overriding. That means whether that person is purchased or not, we are having this data. Now it becomes the 10 kind of thing. Now we are going back.
If it comes 1, it will go to the Y. If it comes 0, it will go to the Y.
That's it. Okay. So directly we are making use of that updation. Okay.
This is direct function output actually.
That's it, Suresh. Yeah. Fit transform function output, so that you can straight away give the input as Y, and we are updating that input value into the Y. Okay. So observe here, friends. There is a lot more points we have observed in the one hot encoder. Like I need to bank on the column transformer, and I should guide my Jupyter notebook in such a way that, okay, you follow the encoder mechanism, and we are applying the one hot encoding, and we are making use of that base column. And this also I have to mention. Whereas in this particular case, simply we have imported the label encoder, and we have created a reference for that label encoder, and we are applying the fit and transform directly on top of the Y. Whereas in this case, even we have not mentioned our X value, friends. We didn't mention any X value directly, because the problem here is if you are mentioning X, it one hot encoder converts all the X values, whatever we are having, maybe country, age, salary, all these things will be converted. So that point we have to observe as a practice, friends. One hot encoder, we are not going to give any variable data, okay, that is X value or something. Only we are mentioning the particular column information, whatever the column I am having, that particular column I have to mention, and I should give this reminder as pass through. Whereas in case of Y, as there is no other parameters or other complex mechanisms, directly it is going to apply, okay, this particular process, and it is going to give the outcome. Okay, so that whenever there is a not purchased option, it is giving 0. Maybe if you see here, yeah, he has not purchased, no. And second one is 1 again, third one is 0, fourth one is also 0. Okay, now if you see that 0 1 0 0 like that. So up to now, just we have seen importing of the libraries, loading of the data, and then missing value imputation, encoding techniques. Two encoding techniques we have seen. One is the, what is the first one, friends? One hot encoding. Second one is the label encoding. Okay, now long back, Suresh asked one, not Suresh, Venkat asked one doubt. So Uma, you are telling training and test split, I could not map that particular thing. Then I said that, okay, hold on, Venkat. Whenever we are implementing data pre-processing and whenever we are implementing that algorithm, we are definitely going to observe this particular point as a mandatory point. Observe here, friends. Why I am saying this as a mandatory is, without missing value imputation, I can implement the algorithm. Reason behind is, if my data set is completely curated from the data engineering team, we are getting the perfect data, then I need not focus on the missing value. Second important thing is, my data items are not having any categorical data items, then in that particular case also, without using that encoding techniques, I can directly load the data and I can apply the train test split. Now in the yesterday's session also, I have given some insight of the training and as well as the test split. One of the important point, friends, can I say train test split as a pre-processing, or what is your thought process on that? Just let me have a discussion. So because this point is very important, many members are having even in scenarios also. Okay, so train test split, whether it belongs to data pre-processing or not, and if yes, why and how? If no, then what is the category of that, or what we can what is the group of that thing? Just to think through, friends. I'm having the, we are just come across to importing of the libraries, importing of the data set, and we have applied some kind of the missing value imputation on top of the data, and thereafter we have seen some encoding techniques, one hot and as well as the label. Now we are about to discuss train test split, which I am saying as a mandatory for each and every machine learning algorithm implementation code. Now the question is whether this train test split belongs to the data pre-processing or not. Suppose if it is belongs to data processing, why? And how you are saying that train test split is belonging to the pre-processing. Suppose if you are in the opinion of, okay, maybe train test split is not the not belonging to the category of the pre-processing, then what could be the significance or functionality of this train test split? Think through and you come up with your whatever the ideology formed. A big silence, like Ram Gopal Varma movies.
We
Oh, silence breaker, path breaker. Venkat, go ahead.
see we do it before the model.
Okay, that is one valid point, because if I want to implement the model, what are the parameters, Venkat? Yeah, by the way, tell me the parameters.
No, you mean to say because once we select the model, we have to give
Very good,
the
Lakshmi.
give the information to the model, like how it should because once the model runs, it has to work on this why predict and why test, you know, it has to
Yeah,
compare
but yeah, you're right. In the we are having the model and we are having some kind of the prediction, as per your analogy, right? Now, which are all the parameters in the model? I'm asking.
okay. X train, Y train.
Very good. X train and Y train. In the
X
prediction, what is the process? Here, what we are getting?
Y test
Y,
and
Y prediction is equal to,
Y
okay, Y prediction is equal to, just we are applying the prediction. What is the parameter here, friends? Very
X
important.
test.
Very good. Don't get confused, friends. You should not give the Y test here. That we are very clear, friends, about that. Reason is our Y test is the original data.
Why test you are comparing with the prediction?
That's it. Simple. Okay, don't make over complicate. Okay, simple.
Yeah.
Our Y prediction is our model outcome, friends. Our model outcome. Okay, hope everyone is clear on this point. Okay, so like, you know, so just if you are referencing, you should not be in a dilemma or in ambiguity, friends, while making your model. One strict important point is we are training the model simply. So just the phrasal verb also you can remember, train model. Just we are giving some training phase. And what is the percentage of the data we are taking in the training, friends?
75-25.
75-25 sometimes,
Or
sometimes
80-20.
70-30, 80-20. It all depends on the team decision, friends. There is no hard rule book or something like that yet. Okay, so it all depends on the scenario or your subject matter expert or your team. Okay, maybe you can decide on those points. If you are asking me if something distinct, if I'm putting 70-30, is there any really performance implications would be there? Or else if I'm happy with 80-20, is there any such kind of thing? That discussion will have, friend. Will have that discussion later. But now you because I don't want to pull many things into this discussion, because train test split itself is a very important point you need to follow up. That's what I don't want to enter into that genre. Okay, we are happy with whatever the things. Let us assume that there is no impact of 75-25 or 70-30 or 80-20 as of now. Okay, right. Now at the moment I'm deciding to implement my model. That means training my model. I'm sending my arguments as X train and as well as the Y train, right? But how to get this X train and as well as the Y train? And I need one more thing, X test also. Okay, for this particular thing, friend, there is a simple analogy. I need to give the data set, and this particular data set suppose there is yesterday also we have seen the same. There is some kind of the all the X values here, all the independent variables, and all my Y values here. This is the dependent variable. Now you observe here, friends. Assume that this is your 75% of the data. This is your 25% of the data. The same rule works for Y also. Your 75% and 25%. Now there are two categories here in this column. This is one category of the data. This is another category of the data. Similarly for the Y also, we are having this category and this one more category. This is what you can say, friend. This is as we are majority of our data is we are working with 75% of the data that definitely belongs to the X train. And similarly here also we are getting the Y train. And here we are getting, friends, what exactly this thing? X test. This is Y test. Hope this is clear with you all, friends.
Yeah.
Okay, na? Right. Now, the point here is we are making our model, and this particular model is demanding X train and as well as the Y train. At the same time, our Y pred is expecting the predictions on top of the X test. At this moment, friends, before constructing the model prediction up to the measure, okay, just have a look on this. Okay, in the measure only, what we are doing, we are making use of the Y prediction and Y test. Okay, so we are reserving our Y test values. We are reserving our Y test values until the applicability of the measure, because that measure, you know, which is something like to consolidate or to prove our model, whether that model is properly giving the proper observations are there or not. All these kind of things can be observed as a measure. Now you observe here a simple liner: X train, Y train used in the model construction, used in the model construction. Second thing is, friends, my Y train, already Y train is there na? Okay, sorry. My X test can be used in the computing of Y pred. What is the third point, friends? Can someone help me to observe the third point? Your
Compare your Y train with
Y
test
test
with
versus Y pred.
Y predict.
Yeah. In the accuracy or correctness of your implemented model. Now, if you observe, don't get confused, friends. If you want to highlight your model performance, then you have to talk about the measures. Whereas if you want to compute the predictions, that means your entire model is there, and I want to apply some kind of the X test value rather than all the things. How much percentage is there for the X test, friends? 25. Okay. And how much percentage is there for X train and Y train? 75. That just to keep in mind. Maybe that is 75, 25 or 80, 20. That gap must be there, friends. Okay, reason also we have seen many a times. Okay, so just to cover all the possible cross-fold validation kind of thing, and you to maintain, okay, whether this X train Y train is random or sequential. Again, I mean, this train test split should be random or sequential.
Random.
Why?
Because we should get the correct sample, like it should cover all the aspects of the data.
Yeah, it should cover all possible values of the data. Then only we can say my data covered all the things. Some chart. Okay, very good. Extra invite. Okay. Now, our here we are interested in. So, how many implementations we have to perform here, friends? Through the coding. This part we are okay. In the coding, our expectation is the first one is split the data. Where we are having the data, friends? Can someone help me?
Pandas, we load the data from
X and Y, na? Our data is available in the X and Y. This is the first expectation. Second expectation, friends, we need to generate how many values we are going to generate here. X train and then Y train, X test and Y test. 4 values are there, friends. Okay, so these 4 values I am going to get through the coding like this. Xtrain, Xtest as one data set, Ytrain, Ytest as one set of the data. Okay, this is the generation. Third one is I have to mention the percentage. Okay, maybe that is suppose if I'm mentioning the training data, okay, I should mention 0.8 or 0.75 like that. Suppose if I'm mentioning the testing data, friends, how do I mention? Maybe you are having the possibility of mentioning either training or testing. Obviously, this is 0.2 or 0.25 like na. So that means this is 80%, simply 80%. This is my 75%, and this is my 20%. This is my 25%. Now training data and as well as the testing. Now the another point is, friends, what is the fourth point? I should insist my train test split into the random split. Don't get confused, friends. 4 options. Again, I am reiterating. I want to split the data which is available in X and Y format. This is clear for all. Second important thing is my requirement is I should get my Xtrain, Xtest, Ytrain, Ytest separated, because in the model I am using the what we are using in the model, friends, Xtrain and as well as the Ytrain. Whereas in my prediction I am using the Xtest value. In my measure I am using the Y test and as well as the Y prediction, not yet computed. Y prediction we have not yet computed. Now the third point is I have to mention the split of the data. 80% is into the training and 20% into the testing. Last point is I should get my split in such a way that, okay, the split must be random. Okay, now keep in mind these points, friends, and have a look on the coding. Just to think through. And now within the 2 statements, that only one statement, friend. This is of course import. This is only the statement where you can observe all the requirements. Like we are getting the random split, we are getting the Xtrain, Xtest, Ytrain, Ytest, and we are splitting the data by imposing X and Y values, and we are telling that okay, I need 20% of my data into the test. Have a look on this. If you feel any disconnect, just you ask the doubt, friends. Just to think through. Only you need to observe these 2 points. This is the first import. This is the second point actually. Have a look on that.
What is this random state?
Random state. Okay. Any other than that? Any other doubts? Okay. So now observe here, friends. One simple thing.
This test, the train test split, I think the train test split directly, it has the 4 parameters, 4 variables already existing. Xtrain, Xtest, Ytrain, Ytest.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I'm asking you, is it directly, it has the 4?
Yes,
so,
of course. It
so
returns
the
4.
function is directly putting into
That's
the 4.
it. It's a nicely arranged manner. Only you need to give the Xtrain, Xtest, Ytrain, Ytest in the left hand side, and
only you need to give the X value, Y value, and what is the test size and what is the random state.
Random state I will clarify. Up to test size you got na? Up to test size you got the point.
Yeah, 20%.
20% of the test size. Okay. Random state I will tell you, friends. Simple. Okay. Hope you are seeing the OneNote. 1 minute. OneNote. Okay. Now see here. Just time we are researchers, and Suresh, Uma or one team. We are working on the SVM. Venkat, Yogesh, working on Venkat favorite algorithm, naive bias. and Lakshmi, Neelima working on the decision tree. Our Akash, and who are all there in the call? Akash, okay, almost all members I have covered. And again, I am also with Akash, and we are working with some KNN. What is the common point in this thing, friends? Can someone help me? What is the common point in all these four?
Algorithm.
Classification. These are all the algorithms belongs to the classification. Now, suppose Suresh and Uma team observed the SVM on the data set, same data set. Okay, and these guys, Venkat and Yogesh also applied on the same data set. And Lakshmi and Neelima also applied on the applied their algorithm of the decision tree on the same data set, and Akash also applied on the same data set. That means we are about to compare which algorithm is really giving the good performance. In that particular case, friends, my random state must be same for all the implementations. Okay, if I am giving random state here 1, if I am giving random state here 100, if I am giving random state as 200, if I am giving random state as 300, there is no possibility of getting the same liner. That means on the same data set, on the same environment. Okay, I want to preserve my parameters as it is, but I want to change my algorithms. Maybe SVM I am applying, and naive bias I am applying, and some kind of the decision tree, and then random forest. But I want to maintain the same environment so as to get my output. In that particular case, we should use the random state as same. Random state equal to 1 for SVM. Random state equal to 1 in the implementation of the naive bias. And random state equal to 1 while using the decision trees. And random state is equal to 1 for the KNN. It is not having any implication in the single algorithm. Suppose if you are okay with single implementation, if you are giving 1 or 100 or 200, there is a random value, that's all. But make sure, friends, if you are comparing the corresponding algorithms performance on same data set, and if you want to maintain the same thread of the environment, okay, then definitely we have to keep track of that random state same for all the 4 algorithms. Hope you got the point, Venkat, now. Not only Venkat, I'm asking you all. Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Very good, very good. So now at the moment you observe, friends, just let me spend some time here. If you observe, I asked one question before starting up this train test split, whether it is belongs to the data pre-processing or not. It's not belonging to the data pre-processing technique. Reason behind this is data pre-processing, once that is done, then only we are going to split the data, friends. One simple rule, na? One thumb rule. See, everything is ready, then only we are going to split the data. If data is not curated, if that is not well organized, then how do I elect my splitting phase, friends? Just to think logically. So here the logic is, if I want to get my data or if I want to split the data, first my data should be in a clear format. Okay, definitely train test split is not belonging to the data pre-processing, but okay, if that is not the data pre-processing, this is belongs to the model selection. Just to clearly mention here. So in the sklearn, okay, we are having the model selection. Within that model selection, we are going to import the train test split. Just we have imported the train test split, and this statement is very simple. This train test split is going to generate 4 outcomes, friend. One is the X train, X test, Y train, Y test. Such a nice manner they have computed this particular train test split. First parameter, what is the first parameter, friends, here? What is the first parameter in the train test split?
All your independent values.
All your independent variables, that is X value. What is the second parameter? label.
Dependent values by value.
Third thing is here two options, friends. Maybe you can give the train size or you can give the test size. If I am giving the train size, then what should be my value there?
0.8.
0.8. Very good. So I am opting my test size, so that obviously we are giving the 0.2. And now can someone explain what exactly this random state, friends? Random state. Suppose if I want to test
when
my
we have
when we want to compare the
we have to
performance.
compare the same data with different algorithms.
Excellent.
We use random state as one, so as to maintain the same environment.
That's it. Very good. Very good. That's it. Random state having index 1. Okay. So if you are referencing this particular random state, it is saying that it is insisting the appropriate implementation in such a way that I am following the same environment and I am following the same kind of the procedure, so as to split the data and so as to arrange the data, and so that we can expect the same kind of the flow in all the algorithm. Then only I can compare. See, suppose I am expert in Hadoop, Suresh is expert in data science, Venkat is expert in data engineering, our Yogesh is expert in streaming of the Spark. Then how do we compare? Because all these members are having their own potentiality in their technology. But whereas if Lakshmi and Neelima, they are well versed in Python, okay, then only I can able to compare. Similarly, in case of our algorithmic notation also, if I want to compare the performance analysis on the same grounds, on the same background assumptions, I need to compare. So that for that particular purpose, what we are doing, we are managing that random state as same as for all the other kind of the aspects. Okay. Now, can you comment on this particular thing, friends? These two aspects, what exactly the percentage of the training and as well as the test set, if you see. Y train and Y test. Okay, that means
Getting
maybe
80% data and 20%.
that's it. Simple, very simple. Just our intention here is to think through. Okay, what exactly the X train is containing, and how do we how we are getting this particular Y train and all those kind of the data items. Now the important point here, friends. So can someone help me to observe the differentiation between the standardization and normalization? Because that is the conclusive part of today's session, friends. How do you refer the standardization? Let me observe this. This is the thing which is very, very important, friends. So far we have done with missing value imputation in the data pre-processing. Our second important thing is we have shaded that encoding. Again, within this encoding, we have seen the one hot encoding. And second important thing is the label encoding. Okay, right. Then what is the third aspect we have seen, friends? Just now we have seen train test split. Okay, here we discussed about the X train, Y train kind of things. Okay, in case of the measure, we are making use of Y test versus Y pred. Okay, just have a look on the pointers. Now the fourth point is, okay, fourth point we are discussing is scaling of the data. Scaling of the data. So long back we have seen two options, friends, in case of scaling of the data. I'll try to observe that aspects. Standardization, normalization. Okay, can someone quickly observe what exactly the standardization, friends? Let me write the formula here. And you need not write any formula, friends, by the way. So x minus mean of x by standard deviation of x. And in case of the normalization, I'm having x norm Yeah, it is revolving around the minimum and as well as the maximum. X minus minimum of x by so this is the procedure. Now if you observe friends, when do I apply this normalization? There is a criteria friends. Normalization, tell me.
When we do not have outliers, we apply normalization.
That is one thing. And one more point I want to tell here. If your distribution is normal, if I am saying normal distribution, many points should come into your mind, friends. That day we have discussed many aspects.
It has a bell-shaped curve.
Bell-shaped curve. And then bell-shaped curve. Mean equal to median equal to mode. And they, all the points are, there is one formula actually. Suresh?
Standard deviation, mu.
What is the rule? What is the rule, friends? There we have seen some rule, na? Mu plus or minus 1 sigma. Mu
1 standard deviation,
minus
2 standard deviation, 3 standard deviation.
3 standard deviation. Most popular interview question, friends. Most popular interview question. Okay. And here 99.5.
97 and 68.
68. Okay. More or less these things we have seen, friends. Now, at the moment you observe this empirical formula or empirical rule, your normalization is good whenever you are having the confirmation about your distribution is normal. Can I say always this distribution is normal, friends? Because I'm not having any clarity on that. So that if you are having clarity from your SRS or from your data set documentation, if you are getting this insight, your data is in the normal distribution, then definitely you can elect this particular normalization. So normalization is preferable whenever your data is in the normal distribution. In all the other cases, friends, suppose if you are not aware of your distribution, if you are not aware of your data, so this is a general kind of aspect. So your standardization is a process. Okay, your standardization allows you so as to apply the conversion process. Okay, so just if I want to apply, so suppose I'm having age and as well as the salary. Age is having one scale and salary is having another scale, and I want to pick up these two aspects into the common scale. Definitely I have to use either standardization or normalization. Now we are getting one more clarity. Normalization is better whenever you are having your data in the normal distribution. Normal distribution. Suppose you are not clear and you are not aware of whether your data is in the normal distribution or not, then you can straight away elect this particular standardization. Okay, so the standardization gives the outcome, okay, in the converted whatever the outcome we are having, that is going to convert into the scaling mode. Now have a look on this coding part, friend. Very simple. So just keep in mind that we are applying our standardization. So standardization is a process which is common for all kind of the distribution. There is no prerequisite like, you know, so I need not confirm my distribution is normal or which are all the other kind of distribution, friend, by the way, in probability.
Binomial, uniform.
Binomial, uniform, Bernoulli's. Okay, those four we have spent some enough amount of the time. Okay, now just we are taking one more possibility here. If you are conforming and from the source of your data set documentation, if your data is in the normal distribution, better to go with the normalization. Suppose if you are not aware of that, if you are not having any clue about your format of the data, then definitely you can go with the standardization. Now if you observe this standardization, friends, did we apply any kind of formula here? Just have a look on this in the lines of code. Have we applied any standardization equal to x minus mean of x by standard deviation? Any such kind of statement you are able to see, or what exactly it is? You need not, friend. That's what I already mentioned. At the moment you see the standard scaler, it is referencing to the standardization mechanism. I am going to scale my data. Now, maybe if you are not recollecting your formula, no problem, friends. Nothing, no issue, nothing. It's not going to affect your efficiency in the data science stream. But you have to differentiate at least what is the standardization, what do you mean by normalization. And one more point we have added, standardization is a general principle, whereas normalization is a specification, where if your data is in the normal distribution, that much is enough, friends. Only 1 or 2 points, that's what I'm saying. Now you could able to connect the dots. How much stat is required? How much probability is required? Above and beyond, we have studied. Okay, maybe the conditional probability, chi-square test, Z test, T test, F test, all those things we have covered. Only the thing is, at least 1 or 2 characteristics you could able to fetch and link to this particular thing. Now, what we are doing is just we are importing this particular standard scaler. Again, you can observe, friend, this is belonging to the category of the pre-processing. That is what in the yesterday's class, if you observe, feature scaling, some members are taking as a separate aspect, whereas if you practically observe, our feature scaling is belongs to which category, friends? Our feature scaling is belongs to which category? Data pre-processing. Okay, because clearly we are mentioning that from our pre-processing module, we are going to import our standard scaler and we are going to apply that standard scaler. Now the things are simple. For the standard scaler, I am creating a reference, same. And to this particular reference, I am fitting the transformation. Just we are sending the xtrain and as well as the xtest values. And then just we are printing the xtest. And one question for you, friends, here. Why we are not giving the y-train and as well as the y-test? Why we are not standardizing the y-train and as well as the y-test? Because you can create.
Because standardization is bringing 2 things into the same platform.
Okay.
So if one is done, the other will be you are putting one to the other one now. So why should you take the second one again?
No, that is the result. Y is the result. Always Y.
Suresh, just to re-examine, Suresh, because I'm worrying about your analogy. No problem. I'll spend some time with you. Again, can you come again, Suresh? Just to takes 20 or 30 seconds. Definitely. If you are in that opinion, then I have to. I should be in a worry.
Okay. No.
Just to think.
Okay.
Just to think through. Venkat.
Yes.
Yeah. Venkat.
As per Venkat, it's the result. Why is the result 1?
What is y? Suresh, tell me what is the y?
Why is a dependent variable?
Dependent variable. What is the outcome here? Yes or no? No? Yes or no? 0, 1.
Yes or no?
Do we really scale the y-train and y-test at this moment or in this context at least?
No.
Because already they are in the scale. Na? Already they are in the scale. Okay. Hope you got the point, Suresh, now. See, the point here is I want to bring your analogy is correct in case of bringing the.
That's what I was telling Uma. What I was telling is, I mean, probably my thinking was that only. Yeah, I'm thoroughly to that. See what my thing was x, because you're bringing x into the
scale
unit of y. Oh.
No, not
because
y.
Already y is already scaled.
It means we have not scaled. That is already in that scale actually.
In the scale.
Already in the scale. Yeah. Agreed.
Already in the scale. So you are then why should you touch y? So you are touching x and you are bringing to the on the same platform.
That's all. That's all.
That's what I was saying. My intention was that only. My understanding was that only.
Very good. No. I thought of maybe
probably my represent. But because my understanding, yes.
Yeah.
The thinking was right.
Yeah. Very good. But only the thing is, my worry is you said that already x is in the we are bringing it to the scale and automatically y is going to convert. No, that is wrong analogy.
No.
No.
Y is already in the scale.
Yeah.
Y is there. You're bringing x to that.
Yeah. Very good. That's it. See, friends, here x train, x test, if you are applying the standard scaler, it is not going to affect our y train and y test. Have a underline on that, because y train, y test are different sets again. Okay, because clearly we have created some separate spaces for these four parameters. Okay, now we are interested in scaling this x train and x test. Simple reason why, already in zeros and ones format, there is no significance of converting those particular things again into the scale. But definitely in case of x and y, you know, I am having age and as well as the salary in a different ranges, so that what we are doing, we are going to apply some kind of the scaling to bring these particular aspect into the common scale. That is what you can see. Maybe minus is also there, don't worry. Our interest is to bring them, that age and as well as the salary, into the common scale. That's it. Hope you got the point, friends. Okay, this is what, okay, which is, you can say, as a data pre-processing. And in the tomorrow session, most awaited thing, simple linear regression. Okay, can someone help me to understand the key takeaways of this session, friends? Venkat.
We started with the label encoding.
Label encoder, okay.
And
which is applicable on yes or no, true or false kind of thing, okay, which is giving 0 or 1 kind of aspect. Then second thing is
applying both fit and transform in
transform,
the
very
same.
good. Yeah, in the same, that we have compared anyhow. Third one,
The data set, like X train, Y train, X
very good,
test, and
train test split. Within this, we are having some discussion on a random state kind of thing, okay, where this is influencing all the kind of the algorithms. And most recently we discussed about standardization
and normalization.
and normalization. Can you give the reason why we need to select the standardization?
Because we do not know if normalization is the condition that the mean, median, and mode should be like the
We
same.
don't know the data set is normalized or not.
Yes,
Should
that
be
is the
like
reason. Okay, so now in case of the standardization, simply we are applying the standardization for X train and as well as the X test. Okay, so in this example, especially age and salary should be coming to the same scale. And there we have clarified that our Y train and Y test need not be scaled. Already they are in the scale format. Okay, that's all, guys. And in the tomorrow session, okay, so initially I need Suresh explanation related to the assumptions
Regression.
in the regression.
Okay.
Maybe Suresh, you can go before going to assumptions, you can talk something about simple linear regression, multiple linear regression, and what is the mathematical formula, and
Okay.
some kind of important points, maybe 2 or 3 slides enough, and then you can jump into the assumptions with 1 or 2 slides. Okay,
Okay.
total
Okay.
within 10 to 15 minutes. Okay,
Okay.
so just to try to finish, even if
Okay.
you are using 5 or 7 minutes, it is really great if you could able to complete in
Okay.
but I
Okay.
don't think 7 minutes, because if I am giving entire hour also, you can explain. You are going to explain
You
that.
are,
That
you
is
are
my
very
worry.
confident.
Yeah, then I become second hero of this movie. I don't want. Okay, so that is what, friends. Okay, tomorrow,
Okay.
and what exactly we are going to talk is simple linear regression. Okay, so and definitely your data pre-processing skills, train test split skills, all will help to understand this kind of. And now you can see easily in algorithm how we are nicely doing all these kind of the aspects. Okay,
Okay.
one question, Uma.
Please.
After pre-processing, when we are talking about split, you told that it's after pre-processing, correct?
Split
After
is,
encoding,
yeah.
imputation and encoding, we are doing the split, which you said this is after pre-processing. Then the next step is the standardization and normalization. Correct.
Yes.
But that is again coming into pre-processing, correct?
Which one? Yeah. These two are pre-processing only, normalization and as well as the standardization. Now, one thing, friends. Here, our friend question is, we are applying the standardization, normalization as a process of the pre-processing, but our train test split is a model selection. Like maybe the order of arrangement. Okay, then you follow one convention, friends. First, you complete all your data pre-processing, then jump into the train test split. No problem, na?
Okay, that can be interchanged. It's not like this is
That's it. That's it.
Hey, Venkat, that is what yesterday Uma has asked a question, you remember?
Yeah.
He asked whether you are doing splitting before standardization or you're doing split after standardization.
Yeah.
Now, that question answer is here. What
you
is told.
know.
Okay.
You got Venkat?
No, thank you. I got it. See, I do not know all this computer. Then my mind is always tuned to what.
No. Just relate. No. Whatever Uma talks,
Yeah.
that end point is towards the answer of what you're getting in the model.
That's it.
Okay. The graph or y predict and y test. He talks everything related to y predict and y test.
Y test. Finally.
So you should relate with the y test and y predict.
Yeah. Connecting the dots.
Connecting the dots.
Very
So
good.
that you every time wherever you have a doubt, you immediately ask. Otherwise, you will lose that link.
Actually, Suresh is vote of thanks guy. What he does is he explains all the things as a summary, so that okay, these points are coming into your mind. Like that, I can feel, friends. Actually, very good. Yeah.
Ask me a question next after our call. After this training, I get a call. Suresh, see why we need to convert the data. Coding, label and coding. Why we should? You think we can? Then I start thinking.
So as to answer Suresh's question, we are asking the doubts. Huh? Okay, good guys, good. Yeah, doubts must be asked, friends. It is like, maybe Yogesh could have the doubt, or Akash or Lakshmi, whoever. Because asking the doubt creates some kind of the environment where you are following and you are having some kind of the disconnect. Okay, so based on that thing, we can learn many aspects. Okay. That's all, guys. Thank you very much. See you back tomorrow. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.